Hey everybody, welcome back to the Smile Podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about Ohio State's loss to Oregon this past Saturday, and I'm going to be grading each position that kind of just affects the outcome of the game. So let's get right into it. The first one I'm going to be grading is the offense. So the offense, I'm going to give a B-. Howard, he had a great game, minus a few plays, specifically at the end, but overall, great game. The O-line actually did play pretty good. 0 sacks given up. Howard had time to throw the ball most times, and if he didn't, he was able to escape it, and the linemen were able to block long enough for him to do that. And also, that's on top of having 2 starters out, Simmons and Shabola, who Tegra did eventually come back in, but Simmons probably out for season. But overall, pretty good blocking. Didn't give up sacks, whatever. I think also another impact is that the wide receivers were able to get down the field. The running game, however, wasn't very effective. Travion did have a couple big runs. Quinshawn had a rushing touchdown, but besides that, the rushing game was not good. Offense, they just couldn't run, specifically Quinshawn just getting stuffed. Quinshawn also fumbled, so yeah, running game wasn't good. And then the wide receivers played good, but they weren't really getting passed to as much as they probably should be, which I'll talk about later. But overall, B-. I think that's fair. And the defense, however, gets a D. They could not tackle at all in that game. The defensive backs were getting torched. Denzel Burke, giving up like 170 of Dylan Gabriel's 200 passing yards in the first half. You're like, what? You're a DB1. You can't be doing that, bro. He was missing tackles left and right, too. Even after he gets torched, he gets dragged for another, 10 yards. What are you doing, bro? The D-line, they were not getting any pressure. 0 sacks. Maybe a couple tackles for loss. The running backs were getting huge gaps. D-line just wasn't able to stop them at the line. And then linebackers were just not able to break on the ball, or they were getting blocked or something. Secondary was getting blocked badly, too. They weren't able to get off anything, and that led to the running back just getting wide open holes. Wide open. And, yeah, it was bad. There's almost 0 tackles for loss, like I said. And just the big plays really hurt us. And I think you can really blame that, a large part of that game on the defense. Just they did not play great. And they did make a good second half stance of only 10 points allowed, but overall, defense did not play great. Good at all, actually. So they get a D. The special teams, I'm going to give them a C. So they had a good play, and they had a mainly good play, and they had a bad play. So they made a field goal, which obviously is great. That's great. Made a field goal. Influential in the game for sure. And then they did not pick up an onside kick that Oregon kicked, and it led to a touchdown, which not only 7 points on the board, but somewhat even a bigger factor is that when you're on these road games, you can't be giving up plays that get the crowd into it. And let me tell you, that crowd, once that happened, you can tell the crowd just went crazy. The crowd was getting energetic. They were getting it more into the game than they were before, because Ohio State kind of had a decent game going so far, but then that was not good for them. So special teams, they didn't play bad, but they didn't play good necessarily. So that onside kick really took their grade down mainly. So yeah, special teams, I'm giving them a C. The coaching is going to get a C-. So I'll start out positive because there isn't a ton of positive from that game. They had adjustments at halftime on the defensive side of the ball to let them only score 10 points in the second half, which was good. We've seen this in other games throughout the season, like Michigan State, I believe it was, and Iowa just not letting them score. So, we've been able to make adjustments on the defensive side at least, but I just think the offense, the offensive play calling, I'm going to be honest, Chip Kelly did not do good. He really brought down this grade. So the thing with Chip Kelly is, he didn't take any shots down the field. He had one to the tight end that got us 30 yards on the first drive, and one to Jeremiah Smith, and obviously the 2-minute drill, but that's not our main offense, So minus that 2-minute drill, we only had like 2 true shots down the field. And what happened when we took both of them? Huge gains. Like, I just don't understand why we didn't attack them more. And if you attack them more, like, one of our biggest issues that game was the running game. Running game was not good. It was never established. It was never working, you know. But a reason why is because they weren't scared about our deep threats with the wide receivers, you know. They were just worried about getting pressure, getting those linebackers to come down more and stopping that run, because they knew we weren't taking any shots down the field. We were throwing a screen or doing a handoff to the side or at the middle that wasn't getting anywhere. So coaching-wise, what that means is that Chip Kelly needs to start taking more shots down the field, making them have to spend more resources towards the backside of the field. And then what does that do? Takes out maybe a linebacker for safety. And then what does that do? Running game. Better chance at working. Or they can't crowd the box. And the screen passes, if you're going to throw 20 screens a game, you have to throw plays at them that are off of a screen that bring the defense in, and then you go over the top. And I just think overall that was just not a great game for Chip Kelly to coach. Coaching-wise, I mean. He wasn't aggressive. He didn't come out with any new plays that I knew of. And if he did, they weren't very noticeable. And he should have... I think that they needed to use Howard's running ability more. Like, if you watch his Kansas State highlights, he's running everywhere. He's, outrunning DBs. But why don't we try and get him more involved instead of just him running after pressure comes in? And I think he needs to be pitching it more, off of a play. They should have Howard running out to the side, to the far side of the field, not the short side, far side, because they always do short side for some reason. It makes no sense. He needs to be running out to the far side of the field, and then if it's a 2-on-2 matchup, if they commit to the quarterback, then running back is wide open. And if they don't, then Howard's just going to take it down to the house. So, Chip Kelly, not a very great coaching game overall. And also, not to mention, Ryan Day's clock management at the end was really bad. I mean, you have to notice that you always have to be, as a coach, you have to be aware of what's happening at the game all times. And Ryan Day, yes, that rule is kind of stupid about the pass interference, clock runs or whatever. But you have to be aware of that, you know. You have to call that timeout. And he didn't. And it ultimately really hurt the game. So, yeah, coaching gets a C-. It was not a very good performance. And overall, just not great. But I think one takeaway that I haven't seen anybody talking about is that if Ohio State is able to hang with these guys for 60 minutes a game when, they got their worst grades of all season. And, it's a good team, but if they're able to hang with Oregon when we're not even playing our best and we only lost by 1 point where we still could have beaten them, we should have beaten them, then what does that say about if we play great, you know? What if we're firing on all cylinders, our defense steps up, our offense is scoring big plays down the field? It's all about just if we can get to that or not. So, I still think Ohio State can be a top team in this league, or in college football in general, because we just have to get there, you know? And that really just comes down to coaching and Ryan Day and just how we prepare for games. So, that's my grading of Ohio State's performance versus the Oregon Ducks. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.